2, 3. Devil's lettuce, pot, ganja, weed. Great day, everybody. My name is Mark Winter from the Cannabis Relief Council. Thank you for this opportunity. Amy, Kevin, Dave, all from Circle of Growth, all the vendors and participants. This has been a great show, a great day. A lot of excellent education speakers. The Cannabis Relief Council started 4 years ago when chronic pain enveloped my life. With 28.5 pounds of weight loss off of this 160-pound frame was a challenge. I kept saying to my doctor, get me medical cannabis. I'm using it medicinally anyway, and I know there are strains available, CBD available, that can have a major effect on my hip impingement, chronic pain, osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. Those are my main conditions that cause the weight loss. Sadly, the 10 different medications from opioids to steroids melted the weight off. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I had anxiety. It was a challenge to stay focused, to stay present, to stay engaged. Once my doctor finally saw that the medications weren't working before being diagnosed, they sent me to the pain management clinic. It was a challenge because I had to pee in a cup. Wasn't too happy about that. I was also put on synthetic cannabis. Wasn't too happy about the synthetic cannabis. It did give me some weight gain, a bit of appetite. However, I've never taken a drug my entire life, maybe an aspirin once or twice. The effects were lethargic, unfocused. It was like getting a low blood sugar or being drunk. I don't drink. I know I'm Irish, but I don't drink. And 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I would get this stupor of being a slurred voice, unfocused, unable to project or present during my presentations or workshops. Once I was able to get, finally a month later, the medical cannabis prescription and wean myself off the synthetic cannabis, I started to see the effects. I started gaining weight. I started sleeping. I started teaching again. For the past 39 years, I've been a martial arts student and an instructor. For the past 20 years, I've been teaching and learning as a student mindfulness. The reason I got into mindfulness is the martial arts were working on the physical, mental, and emotional level, but I was spiritually challenged. I was frustrated. I was angry. The mindfulness is what helped me turn negatives into positives. Mindfulness can help you. Mindful consumption can help you. Once I started microdosing the CBD, this is where the full entourage effect started to happen. I started to see even more success with microdosing very small amounts of CBD in the morning and CBD at nighttime. Not only did it cut down my use of the high THC strains, but I had full spectrum homeostasis health. This is what it's all about. Finding what works for you, finding the balance between health and your day job, and how you apply what you know. The Cannabis Relief Council initially was to engage, to go to trade shows, to learn as much as I could about medical cannabis and now recreational cannabis, to educate and inform myself, which is where the understanding and knowledge of CBD was so important. After a couple of years of that and getting the success and the health back, I started teaching more workshops in regards to pain management and mindfulness. What I realized was that when people are in such extreme situations and challenges and pain, it's hard to do the 3 different steps of meditation. So that's when I came up with a very simple form for myself, because I was teaching a workshop, barely able to get up the stairs without a cane. Stillness is what came back from that. Teaching people not a very advanced form of meditation, but a simple exercise called stillness. Now, I don't know if you feel like trying it, but do you guys feel like trying a little bit of stillness? There's one key thing that, whether it's today, tomorrow, when you're in pain, when you're at a funeral, when you're at your last moment on this earth, if you can be still, things will respond better. You will be more mindful, more present, in less pain, and more focus. Stillness does not tune you out, it tunes you in. non-attachment. If you look in the dictionary, stillness actually means a calm, abiding, if you look at it mentally, a calm, abiding mind, free of agitation or disturbance, clarity. Well, isn't this what we all want? Free from disturbance? So the key is, if I may, if you're sitting, just sit with your feet flat. So your feet are flat on the ground. Ideally, when you're sitting, you want to have your legs bent on a 90-degree angle or 45-degree angle, calm with a straight back. The most important thing about stillness, I was on a recent doctor's podcast and he can't meditate, has ADHD, he's hyper. What's the key, Mark? I want one key to help me become more mindful. And here's the key, putting your thumbs together. So put your right hand over your left, put your thumbs together. But what I want you to be aware of with your thumbs being together is how intense they are. You should be able to put a piece of paper between your thumbs. Not too heavy, otherwise you're pushing it too hard. Not too light, otherwise it'll fall through. Use that subtleness, that awareness, that mindfulness as a way to enter into stillness. And it's that simple. Other than a few other basic techniques that you can learn, like breath, posture, head back, that will help. But even in my worst days of pain and anxiety and fear, even lying like this in bed, touching your thumbs together will connect you, will take you away from your pain body or your negativity or your anxiety or your thought processes, your monkey mind, and go into stillness. From stillness, you will increase mindfulness, even if it's 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds of mindfulness can have a dramatic effect. I always say to my students that when you're getting out of your car, try and wait 2 minutes before you get out or when you get in. The effect is substantial. We all know that 20 minutes of walking a day is actually very effective and healthy for you. You don't have to run 2 hours a day anymore. Less is more. And isn't that true about cannabis? We all talk about microdosing, taking small amounts, and you will see the efficacy from that microdosing more so than too much. So less is always more. I'm always about trying to change the stigma. So as a martial arts instructor, I always try and share with my students the truth. Not only did I get the support from the parents and the students driving me to workshops and classes, because I felt coming out of the cannabis closet was a tough thing as a traditional martial arts instructor. So ask for support, ask for help. During the worst of it, and there's a lovely young lady here that met me at a show a couple of years ago who was very helpful and supportive. I was 28 pounds underweight. I had a cane, and she gave me support, guidance, and compassion. That's equanimity in action. So what I'd like to share with you to try and destigmatize is a flow drill that I shared with one of my students when they said, well, Sensei, couldn't you use the cane as a weapon? Well, yeah, of course. We used to teach that all the time back in the 80s when everyone was afraid of somebody jumping out of the bush and scaring you. So cane techniques was a very big part of martial arts training at the time. What I want to share with you today is not the martial art technique as much as a flow drill that helps me tune in. So when I get home, I can, even with poor hips, poor mobility, lack of weight, lack of focus, I can use some flow drills to tune in, out of my pain body and in the flow. So if I may, I'd love to share that drill with you here. Please enjoy. I never named my cane, but we'll just call him Buddy. So as you can see, it's obviously good support. Anybody can use. But the key is flow. Gotta watch the speed because it's very slippery in here. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So ask for support. Use support. Try and be in the moment, outside of your pain body. to promote the cannabis. I'm not used to a microphone. My voice is fairly loud, you might notice. I know, put your earplugs back in. As the Cannabis Relief Council started to develop, and I started to share more of my martial arts on the Instagram link, so please check it out at the Cannabis Relief Council. Like, DM me, connect. It's all about circle of growth, making connections, growing together as a community. What I've often done when I came home, when I had very lack of mobility, is I started sharing with my four cannabis plants. Thank you, Kelly, I love them too. Not as high as yours, but they're getting there. And I've been sharing posts using some of the martial arts weapons online with these 4 plants as a backdrop. Everything from nunchaka to swords and so on, to dispel the stigma. Just because we're cannabis users, medical, recreation, or otherwise, doesn't mean we sit on the couch and eat Doritos. Now, I actually do sit on the couch and eat Doritos, but my point is, I don't do it all the time. So let me share with you a couple other techniques or flow drills that I use. And I've got a boken, which is a practice sword, a joe, which is a small staff, or sticks. What would you care to see? Young man in the back. The boken, okay. So a boken is a practice wooden sword used in the martial art of Aikido. Again, this is not about fighting, it's about being in the flow. So please enjoy. Thank you all so very much. And to finish off the drills, I always loved Filipino stick fighting. Arnis, Kali they call it. We have a young lady who I believe is from the Philippines. No? No? Talk to so many people. So it's a martial art that is beautiful for weapon training, for sticks. As a martial artist, I've always enjoyed using them to relax. It's just fun to use. So again, this is about flow. It's not fighting. Thank you. To finish off, mindfulness is what I'm all about. Mindful consumption, mindfulness in action, wellness through movement. There are many ways to use meditation. This is a Tibetan prayer bowl, which I'm sure you've seen. You see it in the beginning of yoga class sometimes. Start with 3. Again, you use this to tune in, to use the vibration, to heal, enhance, focus. So please enjoy. So there are many ways to meditate. Your gardening, your reading. This is something they use in the forest monasteries to recreate the sound of the rain hitting the temples or the forest huts where they would go to the forest to meditate, the monks and nuns. So it's a very cool way of connecting and tuning in. many ways to be mindful. The Cannabis Relief Council started to share my passion to minimize stigma, but also access, as they realized there was a disconnect between the doctors and the patients. People would get their medical prescription but not know what to do with it. There's been an incredible amount of knowledge-based speakers here that have some great passion, great concepts, great businesses. So to consult and to help people where patients come first is exciting to do, and I do the same thing. So if you need or know somebody that needs a medical prescription to purchase medical cannabis, the Cannabis Relief Council does it at no charge. We do it through Skype, all done above board and professional. So it's to give you the control, to be your own advocate, to be in control of your own medication. You know, I always say in my blogs that pain is not a choice. Suffering is. Through mindfulness, peacefulness, you can equate and develop happiness. Medical cannabis has worked for me for the past 4 years, and it may work for you. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. And I have a couple songs here. I've never had a microphone. My family wouldn't allow it. I'm sorry.